recording, but you're not recording. Okay, so welcome to Yoga in the Park, everyone. Oops. Okay, just adjusting that. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if you can. Okay, well, welcome in. Where did my book go? Oh, I put it away. So let me grab my book. We have Christian here on drums. And I will be reading a little bit today from the book, The Yamas and the Niyamas by Deborah Adele. So we're in the park. We're on our third one, which is Asteya. So I'll do a little reading during class. This is the book. And like I said, I'm Micki, and you're welcome to do in this class whatever serves you. Hopefully I'm speaking up enough you can hear me. But we'll start out lying down. And so you can really just come to lie on your back. You might keep your knees bent and allow your feet to rest heavy on the mat or on the ground, whatever you prefer. You could lean your back or on the ground. You can spread your arms wide. Imagine for a moment you were able to plug yourself into the ground beneath you. Feel all of your energy coming back to you. Just allow yourself a moment to settle in. And know that you can always move too. So everything I offer today is an invitation. And you can always change it up. You can always move. If you want to be in the sun, move to the sun. If you want to be in the shade, move to the shade. Give yourself permission to explore what is true for you today. And as you settle in, you might start to feel a glow from your heart center. As you inhale, allow the glow to get a little brighter. And then notice if there's a message for you at your heart space. Something you'd like to cultivate or something you'd like to release. Is there a message for you there? And if you want a suggestion, the reading for class today, it comes from the book, The Yamas and the Niyamas, as I was mentioning, by Deborah Adele. And it is called Asteya, and that means non-stealing. This is the third of the yamas, which are part of yoga's ethical practices. So if these words are true for you, you can allow them to maybe help inform your practice, your intention. This is a big one for me. It says, when we compare ourselves to others, we can find ourselves either lacking, which makes us feel cheated, or we can find ourselves superior, which might leave us feeling arrogant. The third jewel, which is Asteya, or non-stealing, calls us to live with integrity and reciprocity. When we are genuinely caring for the other, that caring finds expression in ways that feel supportive and tender. Yogi Bhajan says, be a forklift. You should always be uplifting people. My ancestors have sacrificed so much for me. They have endured hardships beyond my comprehension with only one thought, that of the upcoming generations. Remembering our ancestors and the mystery that brought us into being is a way to reframe the sacredness of our lives. If you're ready to start some movement in your practice today, remember that you can make this your own. You might walk your feet as wide as the mat and allow your knees to fall over to one side, turning your gaze in the opposite direction. Inhale, you might lift your knees to center. Exhale, float them in the opposite direction. And just have a moment to windshield wiper your knees from side to side, breathing into your hips. Recently, I took a wonderful class called the Alexander Method. And in this class, she describes thinking of your spine like a snake. So you might feel that gentle curve in your spine. And then take one more nice deep breath on each side. And when you're ready, you can roll over to one side or maybe rock and roll up and down the length of your spine. You can come up to any kind of comfortable seat, whatever you would find comfortable, crisscross, applesauce, or you could sit on your heels as I am. Maybe I can only stand this for a few moments, but it feels good for those few moments. Take a moment to close down your eyes or soften your gaze. Feel the caress of the wind on your skin. And then we're going to start with a little bit of stretching for the neck. So with your next exhale, you can allow your chin to curl down towards your chest. Find length through the back of your neck. And then on your inhale, sweep your right ear towards your right shoulder. Exhale, bow your head towards your heart, lifting your heart towards your chest or towards your face. And then on your inhale, bring the left ear over towards the left shoulder. And then just take a few rounds of breath, finding a little bit of movement side to side, checking in with each side of the neck. Take one more nice deep breath on each side. And when you feel balanced from left to right, you can bow your head towards your heart, and then we'll sweep the arms out and up, reach the fingertips up towards the sky, interlace the hands, and allow the hands to rest on the back of your head. You could close the elbows down and just allow a little bit of weight from your hands to find more stretch through the back of your neck. And then inhale, we'll lift the head, lift the heart, spread the elbows open, just like wings, and maybe allow yourself to look up. Exhale, you can close it down, bringing the gaze towards the chest, just light pressure. Inhale, open the chest and the elbows wide. And just a few more times like this. The next time you open your elbows out wide to the sides, you can sweep your hands out and around. We'll plant the right palm down and then press into the earth. Lift the left arm up towards the sky. You can look up, gaze up. On your exhale, you might sweep your fingertips out at a diagonal and just start to draw a beautiful circle. You might notice or be able to imagine little rays of light beaming off of your fingernails. The next time you lift your hand up towards the sky, you can reach both arms up, and then we'll plant the opposite palm this time. Reach the other hand up and overhead. You might look up. And then maybe you want to paint those big rainbow circles out in front, reaching out at a diagonal, pressing into the earth. Follow the pace of your own breath. And then the next time your hand reaches up towards the sky, you can press into the bottom hand, lift both hands, draw the hands to the heart center. Now you can either stay seated for cat and cow. We'll start to move through the spine. Or if you want, you can come onto hands and knees. One way that can be fun to come onto hands and knees if you're going there is to sort of give yourself a little momentum to roll over the knees, and then you can place the feet behind you. So either way, seated or hands and knees. If you're coming onto hands and knees, you might press your palms underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. And we'll inhale, lower the belly for cow pose. Exhale, round into the spine for cat. Go ahead and take a few rounds, following the pace of your own breath. Feeling free to always change it up. You can always do something. Everyone is really doing something slightly different than another person. We're all moving in our own way. After a few rounds of breath, you might start to explore your snake-like spine, allowing yourself to move in any way that feels good to you. Maybe you could draw a big circle with the belly button. You might move slowly, finding that space in between all of your vertebrae. As you move your delicate spine, can you notice what an amazing design it is? Take one more nice deep breath wherever you're moving, and we'll come back to tabletop. From here, you can either come into a child's pose, or if there's any other pose you prefer, maybe you prefer downward dog over child's pose. Or if you're staying seated, you could take a seated forward fold. For child's pose, you might bring the toes to touch, open the knees wide, sink the hips back, walk the hands out in front, and maybe you allow your forehead to come all the way down to the ground. Or if it doesn't quite reach the ground, you could stack your forearms and make a little pillow to rest your forehead. Take some nice deep breaths wherever you're at. Remember that all of these options I'm giving you, everything is your choice. You can also decide maybe to relax in class, and Shavasana is another beautiful choice. From your child's pose, if you want to start inviting some movement in, we'll come back to hands and knees next. If you're in a down dog, you might take a moment to hover your knees. From here, we're going to stretch through the back of the legs. So you can tuck the toes under, press the heel towards the mat, If you don't want to be on the wrists, you could come onto the forearms here and you might still feel a nice, delicious stretch through the back of your calf. Beautiful. If you want to turn this stretch into a bird dog, just a little bit of balancing and strength, you could extend that leg long behind you, and you might reach the opposite arm out in front. It's going to challenge your balance. Notice a little wibble wobble. If you want to take it a little bit further, you might bend your knee and elbow, maybe draw them to kiss underneath you. Inhale to reach it forward and back. And you could take 2 more rounds, or at any time, come back to stretching the calf in any way that feels good to you. Beautiful. Whenever you're ready, we'll meet up in tabletop. And then you can slide the opposite leg back. This time we'll tuck the toes under, press the heel towards the mat. You can always stay wherever would feel good to you. You could come down onto the forearms, give the wrists a little reprieve. And then this other part is totally optional. It's just for fun. You might play around with kicking the heel back. Maybe you want to extend the opposite arm out in front. And then feel free, if you want to try, just bringing the elbow and knee to meet or towards each other. Mine aren't really meeting, but you can imagine them coming together. And as many or as few as you'd like. Maybe you want to take 3. And it's okay to fall out. This is how we learn, right? We fall sometimes and we get back up. Or we just take a break altogether, and that's okay too. Whenever you're ready, if you want to take a nice, delicious break from that, you can come back into your child's pose. Or maybe it would feel good to tuck the toes under, lift the hips, and stretch a little bit more in downward dog. Doing whatever serves you best. Coming back to your intention. Coming into your breath. If you feel you want to build a little bit of heat from your downward dog, you're welcome to come forward into a plank. And you could also do this from your forearms. Is my sound not working? I thought I heard something over here. Oh yeah, hopefully not. From here, let's meet back up in our tabletop. And then we'll sweep the arms, lift onto the knees, come into celebration pose. You might lift the head or the chest, the heart. Maybe it would feel good to sweep the arms around. Imagine you're sliding them into your back pockets as you lift the pelvis forward. That's what I'm looking for, that word. Then we can inhale, come back to neutral, sweep the arms up towards the sky. We'll bring them back to the heart. You can bring them to the hips and then step the right foot forward. And of course, I stepped the left foot forward, so maybe I'll switch it up just to be congruent with you. From here, you can keep your hands on your hips or bring them to the heart or float them up towards the sky, whatever would serve you best. On the next exhale, you might bring your hands out in front and then let your right arm keep going. You can bring it towards the hip, and then maybe you start to reach it behind you, turning your torso into a twist. Inhale, slide both arms back up to center. And feel free to take that 2 more times if you'd like to try that twist. Another option would be to bring your hands onto your right thigh for a little leverage and just peek behind the shoulder. Beautiful. I love to see all the gorgeous variations. On the next inhale, let's meet back up in our Anjane Asana. And then you can bring the hands down to the ground, step that foot back to meet the opposite foot, and find any kind of resting pose in between. Maybe this is standing, it could be child's pose or downward dog. Beautiful. Wherever you are, allow yourself to arrive in that place, bringing your awareness back to your heart center, making such beautiful choices for yourself. When you're ready, you can blink your eyes open. We'll come up into our celebration, and I love the variation standing. If this is too much on the knees, feel free to come standing instead, and you can do a lunge from a stand. From here, we'll step the left foot forward, coming into either a low lunge or high lunge. If you want to turn this into a high lunge, you could also tuck the back toes under. I find this much more challenging here, standing. So whatever would serve you best, find that place of comfort, stability. You've made choices, you moving from your center. Bring your hands down in front, and you can let this left hand keep traveling back, opening up into your twist. Beautiful. You could also do this in Warrior One as well. Inhale to lift the arms, reach the heart. A few more times, or bringing your hand to rest on your thigh is also a beautiful choice. Turning your gaze behind you, finding a little twist. When you're ready, we'll meet back up. And then you can land your hands on the mat, step that foot back behind you, and find either downward dog, child's pose, or eventually we're going to be coming soon to lie on our belly. So that would be another choice, is to come and lie flat on the belly. Take another nice deep breath wherever you're at. And then when you're ready, we'll press up to tabletop. We are going to come down onto our belly, and you might come down through a forearm plank. So maybe you want to plant your elbows underneath your shoulders. You can walk your knees back, and you can just lower all the way down onto the belly, or you might rise up using the strength of your core onto the knees, maybe tucking the toes under, lifting the knees. And at any point you want to break, you want to rest, just come back to lying flat on the belly. And this is where we'll meet up. So when you're ready, take your time to get there however you'd like. Once you land, you can untuck your toes, plant your elbows underneath your shoulders, press into the earth, lift the heart. It's a little back bend, or maybe it's a big back bend. This is Sphinx pose. Whenever you're ready, we'll open the elbows, stack the palms, lower the forehead all the way down to the back of your hands. Coming into crocodile pose, Makrasana. It might feel good to bend the knees and allow the heels to gently windshield wiper from side to side. Allow anything in the mind that might be bothering you, might be stealing from you your energy, your life source. Allow it to, almost like cleaning house, fall through the third eye, your forehead center, through the hands. Allow it to compost back into the soil. And then when you're ready, you can lower your feet back down. We'll plant the palms underneath the shoulders and then roll the shoulders up and back and down as you lift the heart into a baby cobra. Exhale, lower your forehead down, maybe all the way to the mat. And then inhale, come up to your baby cobra. Exhale, lower your head back down. And one more time. Inhale, rising up into your baby cobra. On your next exhale, you can release that. We'll plant the palms underneath the shoulders, or they're really there already. Tuck the toes under. You can press up into your tabletop. And then we are going to make our way to standing. So if you'd like to come through downward dog, you can bring your palms a little bit out front, tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back, and maybe take a moment to sashay the hips a little side to side. You can always skip down dog and come all the way to stand or come to a forward fold. From here, you can walk or hop to a forward fold. We'll bring our palms to shins, press into your legs as you lift up halfway for Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, let it all go in your forward fold. Maybe take 2 more rounds, pressing into your legs, lifting up halfway. Exhale to forward fold. And one more time. From here, we'll bend into the knees, sweep the arms up, come up to stand. Invite in all that fresh new energy into the heart center. Draw the hands to the heart center. Then you can relax your hands at your sides. Find your rooting feet into the earth, coming into mountain pose Tadasana. Maybe take a moment to close down the eyes or soften the gaze. And just feel yourself arrive here in your strong, steady mountain. When you're ready, you can blink your eyes open. And then we're going to come into a star pose. So I think let's all turn to face this way. That'll be beautiful. We'll all face the same direction. Hopefully you can still see me. So we're going to spread the feet out wide. And you can turn the toes so they're facing the corners of your mat. And then from here, spread your arms out like little, what are these, jazz hands? Okay, out in all directions. Lift from the heart. Feel your energy coming back to you and take a moment to call it back. I call my energy back to me from everyone and everywhere, and start to feel it all glowing into your heart center. Feel that glow from your intention. And then we're going to take a moment to get rid of what no longer serves us. We're going to do that with goddess pose. So when you're ready, you can cactus your arms like goalposts. You can bend into your knees and then sink down into a squat. Now think about anything that you want to get rid of, anything that you're carrying that you no longer need. And allow yourself to stick out your tongue with your breath, lion's breath. We're going to float 2 more times between these 2 shapes. So inhale, lengthen the legs, reach the fingertips out, Become a star, call your energy back, and then exhale. Goddess pose. Excellent. Let's try it one more time. Call your energy back into your star. Feel your glow. When you're ready, get rid of whatever you need to let go of. And we'll stay here for just one more nice deep breath. And you can bring your hands to your hips, lengthen your legs, and this time we're going to pivot the toes forward. So now your feet are what we call parallel. Parallel. They're parallel. Now we can reach our hands out, and if you like, you can either bring your hands to your hips, or maybe it would feel good to interlace them behind you. We're going to fold forward like a waterfall. So inhale, lifting your heart. Exhale, allow your whole torso to hinge from the hips. Fold forward. Allow everything to soften as you fold over your legs. Maybe you peel your arms away if that feels okay for the shoulders. Take one more nice deep breath here. When you're ready, you can bring your hands back to your low back. Release your fingertips, allow them to glide down your legs. And then we'll bring our hands to our hips, bend into the knees, and press yourself back up. Beautiful. Let's bring the feet back underneath the hips. And you can kind of take a little bit of a wide stance, not like so close, but just a little bit wider than hips distance, and then just shake it all off. Allow your arms to give you a little massage. You might even speed it up, allowing your arms to just graze your sides, giving yourself a little massage. When you're ready, you can come back to stillness. And we're going to get ready for a balancing pose, tree pose. We're out here in the park. So actually, yeah, I could bring you all back. You can come back this way. So for this one, if you also wanted to get help with balance, you could find yourself right at a tree to hold on to if you'd like. So from here, let's root down in our mountain pose. Take a moment to close down the eyes once more. Feel your feet rooting down. Maybe take both hands to rest on your heart. Just feel the pounding of your heart. And maybe that is something you could find gratitude for. And if there's any other things that you can find gratitude for at this moment, imagine those things that you're grateful for are like little bubbles overflowing from the heart center. When you're ready, you can blink your eyes open, release your hands to your sides. We'll start on the left side. So we'll peel the left heel off. Look, I'm practicing mirroring. So that's why we're on the same foot. That's weird. You're like, wait, that's her left side. No, it's not really my left side. From here, you can just stay here. This is a beautiful place to be. I love this because this feels so good for my foot. I don't know about you, but you could challenge your balance a little bit more if you want to drag your heel over to your ankle or slide it up onto your calf. Or some people are like going to reach down and plant their foot on their upper thigh if they want to. And you can always play around with where would feel good to stay. Finding a drishti on the ground or maybe up at the horizon or up at the sky, some place that's a fixed place that you can focus your attention can be really helpful with balance. You might invite your hands to meet at your heart center. And then take a moment to bloom your 3 middle fingers open. You have a beautiful lotus flower at your heart center. Bring your intention into the palms of your hands And then allow that beautiful jewel, that seed of light, to expand out of your body, out into the stars, float it out, and then let it all flicker down. When you're ready, you can kick maybe your left foot out, step it out, and then once more, shake it all off. Maybe you have other ways you want to shake it off. Just let it go. There you go. Okay, we're so lucky we get two sides. That's another thing we can be grateful for. Look, we have one side, we have another side. When you're ready, you can come to your mountain pose, and this time we'll peel the right heel off of the mat. You might feel your left foot rooting down. You could stay here, beautiful stretch for your foot, or maybe you kickstand your heel against your ankle. I kind of like this one because my toes are giving me a little bit more support. Or slide your foot up your calf, or maybe reach down and bring it to your upper thigh. You can always backtrack, right? Going back the way you came. When you're ready, you might invite your hands to meet at your heart center, finding that drishti, that special little gaze place. Maybe it's different this time. For more grounding, you could look down at the earth. If you want more of an uplift, you might start to peek up at the trees or the clouds. And then go ahead and bloom your 3 middle fingers open. From your heart, you could grow your intention out into the stars. Lift it out, let it go, let it rain down, and then bring your hands maybe back to your hips, float your foot forward, and then step it out and shake it all off. Beautiful. When you're ready, we'll come back to stillness. You can come to the front of your mat if you're not there already. And then we'll inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, lead with the heart as you swan dive forward. Go ahead and plant your palms and step yourself back into downward dog, or make your way to your mat in any way that would feel good to you. You can take a few rounds of breath in down dog if that feels good. This would be our last possible downward dog of the morning. So if you want to play around with plank or 3-legged dog, now would be a wonderful time for that. Whenever you feel ready, we're going to be meeting into our tabletop and then walking the knees forward to come onto our seat. With your feet flat on the mat, you could reach your arms out in front and then start to lean back for a version of Navasana, boat pose. From here, if you want, you could sweep your hands underneath your thighs, and maybe you just lift one leg or both legs, or whatever would feel good to you. Find your version of boat. Allow your heart to be buoyant. And then when you're ready, you can plant your feet, reach your palms forward. We'll press the palms behind us, lift the heart. You could stay right here or walk your heels in, press into your feet, into your hands, and maybe start to lift your hips to come into an altar pose. Whenever you're ready, you can land your seat back down. We'll bring the soles of the feet to touch. Lift the heart, hinge forward from the hips, and maybe you just allow yourself to melt over your legs. Any amount that feels good to you. You could also keep your spine nice and long and just lean from your heart, leaning forward. or allow yourself to round, whatever would feel good. And you might play around with inhaling to lengthen the spine, exhaling to release. From here, I like to leave a little bit of choice time so that if there are still other poses that you know you want to take, you are welcome to. I think I am gonna end with a stargazer pose though, and then we'll have some choice time and then Navasana or Shavasana. That's the one. The corpse pose at the end that we all love and look forward to. It's like a special treat. So from here, you can lean back, bring your legs out in front, and then allow your right knee to come down to towards your left heel. And then you can really press in with your left hand as you sweep the right arm up towards the sky. This is called stargazer pose. As you look up, you might press into that hand and maybe you want to lift the hips. That's totally optional as well. On the exhale, you can go ahead and land your hips. We'll sweep the hands down. Lean both hands back as you lift your knees to center. Slide them over to the other side. And then you can press down with your right hand as you reach the left arm up towards the sky. Stargazer. This might be enough right here, or it could feel good to press into the palm and maybe lift the hips. Feel free to land your hips whenever you're ready. And do you want to try it one more time on each side? Feel free. You can slide around to the left, plant the left palm. Stargazer, reaching up, maybe lifting the hips. And one more time on the other side. Sweeping the arm across the middle. You can walk the knees over, plant the palm. Maybe lift the hips as you reach. And then from here, we'll come back to center. Maybe roll onto your back, bringing the knees in towards your armpits. You could hug behind your thighs. Walk up to your ankles or feet for happy baby pose. Ananda Balasana. I just know when I'm down, you can't hear me, so I tried to amplify. And this would be your choice time. We have the rest of the time can be corpse pose, Shavasana, or if there's any other last poses that you are dying to explore, well, hopefully not dying to, but you love to explore, this is your special time. You could come into that same shape that we did at the beginning of class, where your feet are flat on the mat, your knees are lifted. That can be a little bit gentler for the low back. Or you could do a traditional corpse pose, lying flat on your back, your arms out, stretched, letting go of all effort. You're always welcome to move to a sunnier place if you want more warmth, or a shadier spot if you'd like more coolness. I'll do the reading from the book by Deborah Dell, and then I'll give you a bit of quiet time to just allow yourself to settle and soften. This reading is from the book by Deborah Adele on the yama called Asteya, non-stealing. In all the ways that we impose an outside image of ourselves onto ourselves, we are stealing from the unfolding of our own uniqueness. All demands and expectations that we place on ourselves steal from our own enthusiasm. All self-sabotage, lack of belief in ourselves, low self-esteem, judgments, criticisms, and demands for perfection are forms of self-abuse in which we destroy the very essence of our vitality. All the ways we live in the past or future steal from ourselves. We are captured in a culture where our very identity is tied up in our accomplishments. We wear all we have to do like a badge on our shirt for all to see. In this rush to get to the next thing, we have left no time for ourselves to digest and assimilate our lives. This may be our biggest theft of all. We need time to catch up with ourselves. We need time to chew and ponder and allow the experiences of life to integrate within us. We need time for rest and to reflect and to contemplate. Non-stealing Asteya asks us to shift our focus from others to ourselves. It asks us to get excited about the possibilities of our own lives. When we attend to our own growth and learning in the areas of our interests, we are engaged in the joy and challenge of building ourselves. From the fullness of our own talent and skill, we automatically serve the world rather than steal from it. Allow yourself this time to rest, relaxing your forehead and your jaw, softening your shoulders. Feel that beautiful hug from the earth below you. Now take a moment to allow your heart center to fill with light, calling all of your energy back to you. Feel the caress of the breeze on your skin and start to deepen your breath. Whenever you're ready, you can take a long body stretch, reaching from your fingertips to your heels, taking up all the space, feeling that space expanding around your whole body, circling your body. And when you're ready, you can roll onto one side, maybe press yourself up into a seat, inviting your hands to meet at your heart center. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing your practice with me. You can allow your head to gently bow towards the wisdom of your loving heart. I like to say Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, which means peace, peace, peace. It's an honor and a privilege to guide you through your practice. Thank you all so much for being here. And I'm just going to quickly say goodbye to my Zoom folks over here on the computer rectangle thing. What is this? Oh, I see. I didn't actually record, did I? Did I? Wait, pause. Oh, no, I did. Maybe I did.